Hi, my name is Judy Carrillo. My lesson focuses on several content standards, including multiplying decimals to the hundredths place, using concrete models, drawings, and strategies based on place value. This is facilitated through the John Van de Waal three-phase lesson structure. Many of the math practices are embedded within the lesson. Today our focus will be standards for mathematical practice 1, 3, 4, and 6. To ensure that the task is cognitively challenging, I refer to the depth of knowledge matrix. In the before phase, I start every task by activating prior knowledge through visuals and questioning. I would like for you to take a moment, think pair share with your neighbor, and discuss where in real life you've experienced some of these scenarios. Are you ready? Go.
Tiles were all put in and new, and the sink and the stove and the refrigerator, so that was an improvement in the house.
I'm going to read the problem to you, then you guys will read with me. Are you ready? This is our home improvement word problem. Your neighbor, Miss Jones, has asked for your help with a project. She wants to put a new window in her living room. Her new window will be 2 3/10 feet wide and 3 4/10 feet tall.
How many square feet of glass should Mrs. Jones purchase? Explain your answer using models, numbers, and words.
What are we trying to find? Asking open-ended questions like, what are we trying to find? What do we already know? Ensures that all students understand a task before working independently. And we're going to underline that sentence. Now that we know what we need to find, what do we already know? Destiny?
We already know that she wants the window, her new window will be 2 3/10 feet wide and 3 4/10 feet tall.
How do I want you to explain your answer?
Using models, numbers, and words.
This table, how are we going to show our answer?
Explain our answers using models, numbers, and words.
Brian, how are we going to show our answer?
We're going to explain our answers using models.
Before students begin the task, I verify that they understand the vocabulary needed to explain their thought processes and solution paths. To give my English learners and students with disabilities full access to the problem, I clarify and contextualize any unfamiliar words. Now that we have our task in front of us,
We have 5 minutes of struggle time to make a plan and solve our task.
We have to solve the problem in more than one way and try to find more efficient ways to find it.
Math Practice 1 calls for students to persevere. This is important because it teaches students to monitor and evaluate their progress. This is when I give them 5 minutes of independent struggle time to make sense of the problem before working collaboratively.
Orange represents how the width, and this represents how this is.
Okay. Let's take a look at our task one more time. Okay? So, as Richie constructed a model of the window, I asked him a focusing question to help him consider the context of the problem. Well, how many rods does it take to get one flat?
10.
The time has come for us to share our solutions. Let's try it. Who would like to go first? I called for volunteers to show appreciation for students' contributions. I did this even though I had already selected and ordered the solutions from concrete to abstract representations in the during phase.
I counted my flats. I counted 1, 2, 6 flats. And then I started to count my rods, so I counted 1.
So you can give us the answer. What did you come up with?
7 82 hundredths. Yes, 7 82 hundredths.
Very nice.
What do you think, EJ? 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
The same thing?
Yeah. Because he said that those are all flats first.
So he counted 1 to 6, and he counted his rods.
You got an opportunity to discuss with your neighbor what Ricky did. But I have another question. Did Ricky answer the question in our task? Destiny?
Yes, we did figure out the answer. Miss Jones will need to purchase 7 and 8,200 square feet of glass for her new window.
Nicely done. Give her some snaps, please. Okay, boys and girls, now we have another student that used a different approach in solving this problem. Are you guys ready to look at their approach?
I looked at my task and it said that her new window will be 2 3/10 feet wide. So there's my 2 3/10. I ended up with 7 and 8,200.
I want you to take a look at the two models that were just represented to you. I allowed students the opportunity to analyze the different solutions by discussing similarities and differences within students' thinking paths. Here's where much of the learning occurs as students individually and collectively reflect on the idea they have explored.
The similarity from Ricky's and Naomi's is that they did it like the same solution, but Ricky did it with the models and everything, and Naomi did it with the paper, for it can be easier for her.
I have one more solution to share with you. Now, this solution was done by someone in one of my classes in the past. I decided to facilitate an anonymous share for the third work sample because I didn't see any of my students using the area model strategy, which is identified in the California framework. This also allows students the opportunity to critique the reasoning of others. Is before you share with your neighbor, I want you to think about it. Think about what's going on in this problem. Now, who would like to share the discussion they had with their neighbor? Go ahead.
This student broke apart the numbers and made it easier to multiply.
Very good. Have a seat. Thank you for sharing. Would someone like to add on to what Jacori just said?
That they broke up 2 3/10, and they made it 2 0/10, and they made the 3/10, and then they broke up 3 4/10, 9,200, and then they got 7 and 8,200 square feet for her window.
Thank you so much. In real life, what is going to be practical to use to solve a problem?
Ms. Carrillo, I think that breaking apart is easier because if you're at Lowe's, you could just write down on a piece of scratch paper and multiply it and you'll get your answer.
Guess what? I have a challenge task for you. At the end of the lesson, I shared a challenge problem with the class to get them thinking about future tasks. Our next steps will be to multiply decimals to the hundredths place using area models by breaking apart numbers into smaller units like ones, tenths, and hundredths.